Well, the sharp-dressed man is important for this reason. One, he was the one that I saw get Abdulmutallab, or help Abdulmutallab board without even having a passport. Now, who else can do that? Not only that, he was a man of some authority because he went down the secure hallway and talked to management, and he said to the girl working at the counter, he's from Sudan, we do this all the time. Well, you know, who are the we that he's talking about? Is that CIA? I don't know. Who are they that gets people on the plane all the time without a passport? So you have, and then you have the admission from Dutch police that Abdulmutallab didn't even go through passport control, and therefore he didn't go through security there at all. You have to really wonder, who is this guy? He's speaking perfect American English at a Dutch airport, getting someone on a plane, an international flight, without a passport, without any bags or winter clothes except for a small gym bag I think he had. Why and how did this happen, and who is he? He's the key to the whole story, if you ask me. That's why it's important. This wasn't just some normal passenger that boarded this plane and he didn't go through, you know, security. He was someone put on the plane who shouldn't have been on, who didn't go through security. And that's why the sharp-dressed man is important, whatever his role in that was. The mainstream media won't talk about the sharp-dressed man because it blows the whole official story out of the water that Abdulmutallab just got through security by mistake. You know, and he boarded the flight like everyone else. He didn't. He didn't go through security, he didn't show a passport, and he gets on our flight with a bomb or, you know, an intentionally defective bomb. So how can the media justify that? And not only that, you have the comments by Patrick Kennedy that we wanted him in the U.S. to track him. You know, anyone with 3 brain cells can figure out what's going on here. So how can they cover and actually report it? A week or so after the flight, very early on, I got a call from another passenger, and he said, look, you know, I don't want you to sound stupid when all the evidence comes out and the truth is known to everyone, but you didn't see what you did. What you saw was an unaccompanied minor being escorted through security, and, you know, I saw him after we landed in Detroit. And I said, okay. And then I said, well, he wasn't a minor, he was, you know, a teenager at least. And this man said, no, he was a minor. I saw him after we landed in Detroit. And I said, well, did you see him before boarding? And he said, no, I didn't see him before boarding, but I know that's the same person. And I thought it was really suspicious that he would say this. So, you know, I ended the conversation, and I did some looking into the man's background. I found out that he worked for a contractor for the Department of Defense, you know, which raised red flags to me. And then I did some more looking into this unaccompanied minor thing, and I found out, well, you have to be under age 12 to be an unaccompanied minor, and the bomber does not look like he's under age 12. You know, maybe he could pass for 16 or so, but not under 12. And Delta admitted that there were no unaccompanied minors on our flight. So that leaves me with a passenger calling me to try and get me to change my story. For what reason, I don't know. It's highly suspicious of me that he works for the Department of Defense. And interestingly enough, I Googled him recently and I see that he switched employers again, and now he works for a company that's supported by the Department of Defense, various members of Congress, the Senate, and various other people in the government. So to me, it all points to what I've been saying, you know, for quite some time now, that's what happened here. They gave him a fake bomb, they needed to stage a terrorist attack, and that's what they did. The place I get the information from that it was a defective bomb was well, 2 things. First of all, you know, for months and months and months, I'm just living with this idea that maybe my government tried to kill me by giving a terrorist a bomb to blow up my plane. And I didn't want to believe that, and I really wrestled with this a lot, wondering if that was really true or not. And I didn't know what to make out of it. It was a big piece to the puzzle that I didn't have. And in late December 2010, Anthony Chambers was quoted in the Detroit Free Press as saying the government's own experts that they've hired to be expert witnesses in the trial have reported that the bomb was impossibly defective because it lacked a blasting cap. So to me, that was quite telling that the own experts hired by the U.S. government don't even support their own theory on the case, that they have said that the bomb was impossibly defective. Now, if you add that piece of the puzzle together with all the other terrorist attacks that have been happening in the past couple years, where the FBI has admitted to giving out fake bombs, such as Mohammed Muhammad, the Portland Christmas tree bomber, and the Wrigley Field bomber, and at least 5 or 6 other ones that I'm aware of. I can't remember all their names, but they're all documented and all admitted by the FBI. You see a modus operandi, or an MO, of the government here, where they admit to giving out fake bombs to stage terrorist attacks. And to me, it all points to what I've been saying for quite some time now, that that's what happened here. They gave him a fake bomb, they needed to stage a terrorist attack, and that's what they did. Well, the underwear bomber case is important because it's the most, in my opinion, it's the most clear evidence of a false flag event by the U.S. government. I think if you actually take the time to look into the evidence, the official version is not backed up by anything other than statements by members of the government. There is actually a great deal of evidence that backs up what I'm saying. So it's important in that sense that it's a very clear picture that the U.S. government stages terrorist attacks to forward their agenda, whatever that may be at that time. Not only that, but if you look at how the government's treated this case, you can see all the tools they use when they use the false flag attack, which is, denying evidence and telling the media to not report certain things, blasting in the media all the unimportant things, propaganda issues that support their story, the government forwarded story, not the real story. And it just gives you a real window how they handle these things. And if you look at the picture of this, how they handle things, and you see things happen in the future, you can take their playbook, if you will, and apply it to the ones in the future, and tell what's a false flag event or not. There had been no terrorist attacks on flights in the U.S. since 2001, so people were kind of getting, weary of the war on terror, thinking, hey, why are we spending all this money on the war on terror when there is no war on terror? Nothing's happening. We're not stopping anybody. Number two, we had, when this happened in December 2009, we had certain parts of the Patriot Act that were up for renewal. They actually came up for renewal in early December 2009, just a couple weeks before this happened. And you can look it up on the internet. Hillary Clinton actually said, look, my constituents don't want to vote for the renewal. They don't think it's needed, and politically this will be damaging if, my party votes for renewal of these parts of the Patriot Act. So they delayed the vote till, I believe, February 2010, and look what happens in the meantime. There was a bill that had already passed the House of Representatives, and the bill was to restrict the use of body scanning machines to secondary use only, meaning you would only have to go through the body scanning machines after you had set off the metal detector. And this had already passed the House. It was pending before the Senate for a vote in early 2010. And again, look what we have in the meantime, the underwear bomber attack. Incidentally, despite the fact that this bill had already passed the House and was pending before the Senate, the TSA and Department of Homeland Security continued to order many more body scanning machines for the airports. So, read into that what you will. So, all of those reasons, really. And basically, they needed a crutch for the war on terror. Nothing was happening on the war.